Hello and welcome to the After Hours discussions here at the Power of 50 event, and today it's been field service. And it's in these After Hours discussions where, after a long day, lots and lots of very, very good conversation, I turn to some of those that were shaping that conversation just to get their feedback and get their understanding of what the pertinent and prevalent points were. And Michael Berkowsky, you're my final guest after a great long day. But before we start, please tell the people at home who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, lovely. So I'm Michael Berkowsky, living in Switzerland, working in Switzerland for Evora IT Solutions, and my profession is service. So this is where I'm serving my customers with a lot of experience in the service area.
Excellent. So, Michael, you've been leading conversations around future-proofing today. You gave me a good summary earlier as we were wrapping up the conference. Let's just kind of dive into that a little bit. What was the three big takeaways that you would say that you resonated with you across the day?
Yeah, so you're totally correct. So the topic of today's roundtable was really what is required to build up a future-proof field service.
Yeah.
And what we recognized is, and I guess I already mentioned it in my last words, that it's not what is required to build up a future-proof field service. It's more really in the direction that we say, how are we able to adapt to the requirements, to the changes that are happening on the market, especially in the requirement of field service.
And adaptability is a hard word to say when it's this time of the day. Adaptability is a word that came up a lot.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at how much requirement for agility and adaptability, how much the market is changing? Because we have many different industries here.
Yeah.
But we see the same message time and time again across all verticals. Did that catch you by surprise, how much disruption we're seeing?
Partially, I have to say. So I have been partially surprised by the situation because I was expecting that an adaptation is required, especially in the service business. But the amount of adaptation that is really required, because we're having a so quick moving customers. So that means so much quick moving technologies, so that also the service business needs to adapt this quite quickly.
Yeah, and I think what's been interesting, especially with those of you that have been our technology partners today, it's been a great, interesting mix, different conversations from different of the partners, all with a different speciality. And one of the things I keep hearing is actually the technology. No offense to you guys as the technology partners, but that's the bit we expect to be easy now. And it's the processes and the people that we need, and we need to understand what is it we're trying to solve.
Yeah.
What is that future of field service looking like? And then we start looking into the technology. Do you think that's a fair assumption, a fair assessment of the conversations of the day?
Yeah, kind of. So technology really is just, at the end, it's just the support area. And I totally agree that companies are quite often struggling with the technology, but it should not be the way, really. So the way should be, and this is what we from Evora especially, we are trying to handle, that we align on the requirements of our customers. So at the end of the attendees of this day today, that we are aligning on their requirements, and based on this, again, adopting to their requirements and putting in our technologies.
Yeah, I think that's another of the words that stood out for me from today is alignment. It's a lot of A's, isn't it? A lot of adoption, a lot of adaptation, and a lot of alignment. Yeah. My final question for you, and it is the final question of the day, so make this a good answer. But my final question is, for those that couldn't join us, because obviously it's a very intimate group, there's only 50 of us in a room. For those that couldn't join, what would be the one takeaway? What would be the one piece of advice based around the Prepare to Predict title, based around all the conversations you've had today? What's the one piece of advice you give to those watching at home, the field service directors watching at home?
So if I would say do not join this session, then I would be totally wrong, because it exceeds really my expectation that I had from this session. Excellent. So that means I can just suggest really to join this session to get a lot of information from a lot of different industries, from a lot of great people being here. So yeah, if possible, join.
Yes, there's a form an orderly queue. Michael, thank you ever so much for sharing your insights with us all day and for taking time to speak to me in the after
Thanks,
hours.
Chris.
Great to see you. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks, Chris.